last night. Do some camera work here. Okay, we are good to go on YouTube. Quiet for tonight. May not be that way as we go into tomorrow. That is where for Thursday we may see the potential of some more heavier possible storms out across the area. Severe weather could be an issue out there as well, so definitely something that we are going to have to watch on that. Got questions, drop them into the forecast, but stay tuned because let's get Facebook into it. And here we go in just 1 second. Okay, why is this always going wrong? There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, there we go. All right, now we've got things rolling. Minor problems, but that's what happens when you're executive producer, audio operator, camera operator, interviewer, host, all the way on through for everything here. So pardon for the minor glitch or two that we have starting things up. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. It is peak of the week Wednesday. We have little, if anything, in the way of problems for tonight. But as we go into tomorrow, there is going to be a better potential of seeing severe weather across the area, so that's something we're going to have to watch out for. So stay tuned. We'll talk more about that here in just a little bit. If you've never been here before, welcome to the show. This is our on-air live as of right now. Might be watching the repeat performance, but we're on the air. It's just past about 9:45 Eastern time on Wednesday, giving you the update as to what's going on. And as the added bonus goes, if you have any questions about the forecast, we'd love to hear from you. So if you'd like to drop any comments or questions into the comments section, please do so. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If I can get enough followers, we'll be live on eventually Instagram and possibly TikTok. We'll see how well that works out in the near future. Again, for right now, little if anything really happening. Let's go ahead and hop into it and see what we've got going on for tonight. Temperatures for today were, again, above normal, very close to where we should be, but about a category below our record high temperature, which hasn't been tied or broken since 1936. Just about where we should be for the low temperature across the area. So some good news on that, but still very muggy. No rainfall since midnight. Surplus remains for the month. Still a deficit for the entire year, and could definitely use some help on that. And we may get it in the form of more rainfall coming our direction. We'll talk more about that in just a little while. Beautiful view of a double rainbow. You get the first one here, a very faint second one just above that, and some very dark storm clouds off to the background area. Thank you very much, News 12 viewer Holly Joe of Athens, for a beautiful weather capture there. Thank you very much for sending that in. If you've got pictures, please send them in to us. We would love to see them, and more importantly, show them to everybody so everybody can see what your photographic skills are. Email, drop them to social media in the comments section, or best way to do it, go to our website at WDEF.com/photos. We'd love to be able to see a little more about what you've got going on there. Tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, there will be a possibility of more showers and thunderstorms. So going to school and coming back home again, there will be the potential of some showers and thunderstorms. It'll also be warm in the morning, also muggy once again. Patchy fog not out of the question. And please remember that when these are deployed and they are, again, standing perpendicular out from the school bus itself, that is just as much a stop sign as you would see on city streets, county roads, things like that. So when these lights are blinking and this stop sign is deployed, all vehicles coming to and from around that bus have to stop. I've seen some people in the last few days, I've seen about 2 or 3 large SUVs do an end runaround on that stop sign. That is dangerous. That is stupid. That is selfish. That is something that can really cause injury or worse. So please remember, let's make certain that we're all paying attention to what's going on with excuse me, the situation out there, and treat this just like any other stop sign. Slow it down. Yes, you're going to get delayed by maybe a minute or two, but it's not going to be worth rushing around and possibly running somebody over or injuring them either way. So please use caution out there. Out to the pool in the morning or in the afternoon, going to be definitely a time to make certain you're able to take a dip. Don't forget the sunblock, as we will see more potential for a heavy amount of sunshine out there. So that sunblock is going to come in very handy. And we also stand the potential of more thunderstorms out there, so you might be able to squeak in a couple of laps in the pool before more thunderstorms roll through. So please be weather aware. There's also the possibility, again, as I said, of severe weather, so something to take a look at there. Island Cove Marina and Resorts, beautiful view, mostly clear. A few clouds out there obscuring the first quarter moon. 86 at the airport with a heat index of 90 right about at 11 o'clock at night. So we are getting some pretty toasty temperatures. We've also got some low-level smoke across much of the eastern and southeastern United States. Every single red dot that you see is a new wildfire reported by the VEERS satellite system that can detect the thermal signature of a wildfire or a prescribed burn. So all of this is light smoke sitting over the area. Thicker smoke plumes down south of I-20 over toward Jackson, Mississippi, southeast of Little Rock, and that's about it for the really heavy smoke around our area. Now, the good news is that's not having much of an impact on our air quality. Particle pollution, smaller particle pollution is up. So again, smoke, soot, and exhaust, that's where we're seeing the worst conditions out there. But we were in the green category earlier. Dust and pollen and soil particles back to a much lower level than they were a few weeks ago. Carbon monoxide is up. Ozone is also up. But again, we are seeing less in the way of a worry taking place where it comes to big problems out there. Mold spores remain high. Tree pollen remains at low. Grass pollen has bumped up to high, as well as weed pollen, or to moderate, I should say. So thank you, Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, for being our sponsor on that. 60s, 70s, and 80s across the area. Higher elevations, a little bit on the nicer side, and these are the areas that could see some temperatures back into the 50s tonight, possibly, but it's going to be very widespread out there. It was 106 in Little Rock today, and they're still at just about 9 o'clock Central Time. They are barely into the lower to mid 90s. So it's been a very hot day across a good portion of the country. Whether or not it stays there, we'll have to wait and see. As we have another cold front starting to make its way to the south, it's already kind of run into the last cold front, which has been absorbed as a weak warm front as all this warm, moist air makes its way up off the Gulf of Mexico and then intersects that front. Behind that front, way up to the north, we've got more potential of showers and thunderstorms north of I-70, and that again is going to start to move our way and could be a problem into tomorrow morning as we get into around daybreak and school time. So please get the rain gear ready tonight. You might need that in the morning. Morning showers and thunderstorms, a bit of a gap, and then more potential rain and thunder late tomorrow before that all moves off to the east, and that is where we see heavier thunderstorms to our south and east and more potential of widespread activity as we go into the rest of Friday. And then another cold front, the third one in several days' time. That one gets a little closer to us on Saturday, and that might help to moderate our temperatures a little bit, but we are not seeing anything in the way of any problems out there for any huge amount of temperatures dropping. I wish I could say that numbers will be a nice autumn cool out there for right now. Let's see here. Jesse Tyndall on YouTube. How was your day today? It was busy taking care of the 4-year-old at home, getting him to school and back again, and then getting to work while my wife had doctor's appointments. It was a very busy day out there. What Minnesota have Tomaton tonight? I'm assuming tonight. Might not see too much in the way of cooler weather, but I'm just betting that Minnesota is a lot cooler than what we're seeing up there. Thanks for checking in. Excuse me, on YouTube for tonight. We end the weekend with less chances of showers and thunderstorms, but then pick them back up again a little later. Low temperatures tonight. Northeast Alabama, you'll be back into the low to mid 70s. Last night we were in the 60s, so a very nice night out there. 60s and low 70s for the Blue Ridge, north central Georgia, back into the low to mid 70s across northwest parts of Georgia for tonight. Western North Carolina will be back in the 60s, a few low to mid 60s, well back over toward the northeast Georgia, north South Carolina tri-state area there. And then for southeast Tennessee, mostly 70s, although in the plateau, the Appalachians, and down toward the Blue Ridge, a little cooler in the 60s, but the high 60s there, and then low to mid 70s elsewhere. High temperatures tomorrow for all the News 12 viewing area, low to mid 90s. Higher elevations, not quite so blisteringly hot, but at least we'll be back in the 80s, so looking a little nicer there. Severe weather chances for tonight not being seen for us. It'll be well back to our north and west. As you look at that area right there, that yellow polygon, that is a slight risk category. The key in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Out of 5 categories, this is a 2. Not for us, although the 1 out of 5 marginal does now make its way into the News 12 viewing area counties up around Bledsoe, Sequatchie, and Grundy counties, just barely into the area right through there. So we might catch some thunderstorms that could be a little bit more advanced into tomorrow morning or so. And then the threat continues for all the News 12 viewing area for a marginal 1 out of 5. Again, we're not talking about a severe weather outbreak, but it is something that we do need to pay attention to. And then the severe weather threat moves down toward Atlanta into the Carolinas, southern Alabama. We will see the possibility of widespread areas of thunderstorms, but so far does not look like we're going to be picking up anything in the way of severe weather on Friday. So good news there. Tomorrow's threat, not hail, not tornadoes, although those are all possible given the right conditions. We should be looking at the potential again for just damaging winds. And when I say just, I mean that's the main threat to where we could see the possibility of some more problems with other threats. So it is something to take a look at with that potential out there. This means we could see thunderstorm winds of 55 miles per hour plus in the worst thunderstorms out there. So keep it tuned for more there. The tropics, things are quiet in the Atlantic. Not much is expected in the next 7 days, but hold that thought as we talk about that in just a second. 2 systems in the Pacific. Lala is still spinning away as a Category 3 hurricane. It went back to major status all the way to the west of the Hawaiian Islands. Then we have these systems moving off of Central America and also into the eastern central Pacific. This one is showing much better promise than the one to the east, but this one also is showing a little bit more swirl, a little bit more depth where it comes to the moisture, but this one here obviously appears to be the stronger one and could develop quicker, so that could become the M storm for the central Pacific. We'll see how well that pans out here in the next couple of days. Now, we mentioned that the Atlantic was quiet. Great news. As we go through hurricane season, we're winding up on the peak of hurricane season. That happens September the 10th. That's the midpoint. But in the next couple of weeks, the Climate Prediction Center, which issues short, medium, and long-range forecast, this is more of a short to medium forecast here, and this is showing this little area here shaded in salmon pink, a 20% above normal chance for the development of more storms right in the middle of the Atlantic. And that is where we're going from late August into early September. Is this a carved in stone, we will definitely see something forecast? Absolutely not. It just means that it's possible. And watch what happens as we go from week 2, and as I click forward here to week 3, then we see an even larger potential over a more widespread area, and that is getting closer and closer to the Caribbean. Now, again, this is the expected path of where the storms would form, make their way up thanks to the prevailing winds going back to the north, and that is where we may see the best potential for anything developing and moving away so that it doesn't make its way over here with the most population on this side of the planet. This is just sort of a heads up type forecast. to make certain you are paying attention. If you're visiting any coastline anywhere here from Mexico over into the Caribbean, over toward parts of the Bahamas, East Gulf Coast, that is where we really need to watch what's happening, because you don't want to be heading toward a coastline when something is developing that will require you to evacuate the other direction. So this is something that is very important to watch out with these forecasts. We'll help you do that here on News 12, so keep it tuned for more there. Island Cove on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam Network page, showing some very quiet conditions. A few ripples on Lake Chickamauga, but beyond that, really just not that much. Temperatures over the next few days, if you looked at the description title for Weather Overtime on Facebook, we mentioned persistence forecasting, and that is absolutely a thing when it comes to meteorology. What does that mean? It means that you have temperatures or conditions basically in an aligned format. Not much of anything is changing up or down in a extended period of time. So temperatures next few days, low to mid 90s. This right here is about normal for this time of the year, about the lower 90s. So we're going to be on either side of that for the next week or so. Temperatures in the 70s to the mid to high 60s. So again, that very narrow range taking place into the weekend and beyond. So no cool weather heading our way anytime soon. Severe weather potential, 1 out of 5 for severe weather tomorrow, 1 out of 4 threat for marginal risk of flash flooding, more generic thunderstorms on Friday, clearing out hot and humid for the weekend, starting the week on a dry note, but then more shower and thunderstorm chances come back, especially Wednesday into beyond that. Now, we're about a week away from, give or take, the next eclipse, which is a partial lunar eclipse, which we will be able to see here, again, weather permitting. We hope that happens, but we'll keep you updated as we get closer to this. This is next Thursday and Friday, if I recall correctly. And then the next major meteor shower, smaller than the Perseids, but still a good shower to take a look at, is called the Draconids, because it comes out of the area of sky around the area of Draco the Dragon. So we'll see how well those pan out into the course of the next several days, so stay tuned for more on that. If you got weather pictures, and this was a popular topic, we got emails on this, even a phone call requesting more information, so we're repeating this information now. The World Meteorological Organization, the weather arm of the United Nations, they do forecasting, they do climate research, they do a lot on plastic pollution, they do a lot on records and how to help countries around the world avoid things like drought and overuse, and learn about flash flooding, all sorts of things like that. Really great organization to take a look at, but they also offer a worldwide calendar for the upcoming year, and you have a certain amount of time to select your favorite weather picture that you took. The theme this year is Your Weather, Your World. If you would like to take a look at this, all you have to do to submit your picture is go to wmo.int/calendar 2027. Now, there is no cash prize for this, but the honor of having your picture chosen for a worldwide distributed calendar, that's really a nice feather in your cap right there, to be honest. If you'd like to see the other pictures that have been submitted over time, again, WMO, World Meteorological Organization.int, if you would like to see more on that. Questions about this, email me, and I'd be glad to answer whatever questions, excuse me, you may have. Allergies are really playing havoc on me here for today, so beg your pardon for all the harumphing and whatnot going on for portions of the area. Having trouble with our clicker system here for tonight as well. All right, our weather poll question of the day. This is actually related to one of my favorite weather quotes by the same author. His name is James Dent. If you've ever had a chance to check out his writing, please do. But James Dent's perfect summer day is when what? The sun is shining, the breeze is blowing, the birds are singing, or the lawnmower is broken, or all of the above. And of course, the correct answer was E, all of the above. So that one was kind of a gimme right there. Thanks a lot to everybody for voting on our poll today. Use the QR code or go to WDEF.com/vote now if you'd like to vote in our poll that we have up again on our website, and a ton of other information out there as well. So thanks to everybody for stopping by for that. Our rest of our evening is going to be looking and into tomorrow morning for the possibility of some more areas of just cloud cover for now, but anything around and towards sunrise tomorrow morning, that is where we'll see the rain chances start. Stick around for going to work or school, but again, coming back again, there's going to be another possibility of that as we get into the early afternoon hours. Outdoor activities, extracurricular stuff, football, baseball, soccer, cheerleading, marching band practice. Please, again, whoever's in charge of that outdoor practice, make certain you're keeping an eye to the sky and or on your phone on the weather section to make certain you know where the rain is coming from. And when you see lightning, hear thunder, that's it and that's all. Time to get everybody off the field, off the parking lot, wherever you are outdoors. Time to take it back inside for safety's sake. So please do so if you are out and about. Chip Chapman has got more on your forecast, bright and early, coming up on News 12 this morning, starting at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. So join him for the information there. And I'll have all the details with time saver traffic. Rick Nyman has sports. And, of course, we'll have more on news with News 12's Amelia Greer. So stay tuned for more on that. Questions, concerns, ideas, please let me know. Blue bar down below at Onek@WDEF.com. And I'll be back tomorrow afternoon and evening to give you an update on what we can expect going into the weekend. So quick check, no other check-ins on Twitch, no other check-ins on YouTube. And for right now, I don't see any other comments on Facebook, but nice to have everybody checking in and wondering what's going on. So thank you very much for stopping by on there. We'll have more on your forecast again tonight on News 12 at 11, so stay tuned for more there. And, of course, I'll be back again tomorrow with more details on your forecast. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek with our exclusively exclusive video weather blog, Weather Overtime. Stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online, and we'll catch you again on Thursday.